We're back with a cross-country exclusive out of White Plains, New York, where a plane carrying at least 150 illegal migrants touched down this week. We were the only cameras there as those migrants filed out of the plane and boarded buses into the country. So we followed one of those buses, and you won't believe what happened when they finally pulled over. We'll show you how it all went down from the start to finish, starting with the tip we got about these migrants' arrival from Westchester's former county executive. Watch. So, Rob, this has become a signature issue for you, and there is the illegals that are coming into the country, but they're doing something differently here. They're hiding. What am I looking at right here?
Well, you're looking at a bus that no longer has its name on it. The Pennsylvania plates are on it, so we've seen these buses here before. There are 3 of them. There are about 150 people that get off these flights each time, and they're coming in almost every night now. And it's a big middle finger by the Biden administration to the rest of America, certainly here in New York, where our own governor is just waving everybody in and giving them cash assistance and every incentive to come here when she has every authority under New York state law to demand to know who is actually coming off those buses.
And where do they go after? And we see the buses leaving right now. Where are they going to head to?
They're going to go to one of the hangars where the plane will arrive. They'll come off the plane, they'll go on these buses, and then they'll go somewhere where we don't know.
We have been tracking 3 buses that were waiting for the illegal migrants for that plane to come in. Now we're waiting for that plane. When the plane arrives, those 3 buses will come through the airport, pull right beside the plane, and those migrants will be processed and loaded into those buses and into the country. So our cameras were rolling as the first plane arrived and migrants rushed down the stairs. More than a dozen female passengers were among the first to exit the aircraft. Male passengers were the next group to deplane. And as you can see, they did so in a hurry. The stream of migrants then boarded the waiting buses. We followed the motorcade of coaches across the state line into New Jersey. This is something we haven't seen before right here. Right here is the luggage. As you can see inside, there's all these shades and they're holding it. You see the shades moving right here, and they're holding it together right here because they don't want us to see what they're doing here. And then their family members, you see one right there, they come and they pick them up. So there's all these cars in this lot. At this point, the handlers began holding up sheets and shining bright flashlights at our cameras in an effort to obstruct our reporting.
Hey, where are you from? Hey, where are you from? What city? Donde?
Where are you guys coming from? Sir, where are you guys coming from? So as we've been covering this, you may have seen this van earlier that was up in front of the big van, the big bus here. When we decided to wait and still monitor it a little away from the scene, they decided to just ram the car at the back, I guess to shield some of the illegals that are in here so they can just hop into the van. And as you can see inside of this bus, they continue to shield their identity. They don't want us to see who they are. We just want to ask them some questions on how they got here and where they're going to next. In a bizarre turn of events, police showed up to the scene not to question the people who entered the country illegally, but to question us about why we were there. Hello, how you doing? I'm just a reporter with Fox News. We're reporting on this story right here, National Fox. We were later told that the people in the bus who called the police to identify themselves as Homeland Security. So while we were accused of harassment, the border is being overrun, and this is just the beginning, as the surge of migrants is expected to increase in the coming weeks when Title 42 expires on May 23rd. Wow. Joining me now, former acting ICE Director Tom Holman. Tom, Director, thanks so much for joining me. I just want to get your reaction to this. I mean, the audacity of the illegals to call the cops on journalists for doing their job. Apparently they know what the law is. They just don't want to follow it, Tom.
Look, you're doing your job. The Biden administration isn't doing theirs. Look, this would never happen in the Trump administration. This is by design. These people need to understand, when you drive people or you fly people across the country at taxpayer expense and deliver them to the very people that hire these organizations to smuggle them, That's just going to cause more to come. This is back to catch and release. There are thousands of empty detention beds. We had 55,000 people in detention under Trump. They got about 20,000 right now, and they're leaving thousands every day being released. ICE released 14,000 criminals last year when they had thousands of beds available. There's this administration, the secretary, when he testified in front of Congress and he committed perjury three different times, he says his plan is to send more resources to the border, to process people quicker and release quicker. That's just going to bring more. The Border Patrol's already overwhelmed. So when they lift Title 42, it's going to be a nightmare. The Border Patrol's already said they've lost operational control of our southern border, Lawrence. The United States of America no longer controls our southern border. Chief Petroleum said, told me they cannot contain what's coming in. That's why they had 67,000 gotaways just last month. This angers me. It should anger every American, but the people that don't watch Fox News have no idea what's going on.
Tom, this is supported by the polling. A new Fox News poll said that 63% of Americans believe that Title 42 should stay in place, and then another 50% say that the border is worse off under the Biden administration. When we talked to the cops there that were on the scene, they told me that Homeland called them on us. So Homeland officials were on the bus. We reached out to them for a statement, and we still haven't heard back from them. So the Homeland is not listening to the American people, Tom.
No, look, this is by design. Secretary Mayorkas is an embarrassment to the position he holds. He is not the Secretary of Homeland Security. He's the Secretary of Homeland Insecurity because our country is less safe. Because, like last month, they admitted they arrested 42 people on the screening database, terror screening database. There's been over 700,000 known gotaways since Joe Biden became president. How many of them were on the terror screening database are in the country right now? You're not going to tell me out of 700,000 with 161 different countries, many that sponsor terrorism, not a single person came across that border and not get arrested that came to this country to do us harm. This is a national security issue of huge proportions. I've done this for 35 years, Lawrence. I've never been more concerned about the safety of this nation than I am under this administration. The secretary needs to be impeached on day one when the Republicans take back Congress, and I told them that last week when I met with them.
Those are the marching orders. Tom, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.